Snappy, snappy.
Snappy, snap.
Welcome back to my channel. Today we have very exciting news. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, we just bought a house. We got to New Zealand in January, and our plan when we got to New Zealand was to look for a place to call our own. We traveled throughout the country for quite a bit.
Both the North and the South Island, pretty much all the way down, down to Wanaka and back. And we saw a lot. The difficult part was probably that there are just too many cool corners of New Zealand, and we didn't want to rule anything out without visiting it and properly exploring.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure we did our due diligence and looked all over the country to really come up with the area that we really wanted to live. And to be frank, there are a lot of beautiful places in New Zealand that we could easily settle down and live. We originally put 2 offers in the Hawke's Bay region, which we also love. A lot of Alex's family live in the Hawke's Bay region. As you guys know, if maybe you don't know, Alex's father was born and raised in New Zealand. That's what gives him the roots here, and that's why we're able to be here in the first place. We decided to switch things up a bit and look in the Wellington region of New Zealand because, one, we love Wellington, the city itself. We knew from the very start, before we even moved to New Zealand, that we wanted to find something more on the homestead vibe, more rural. So we ended up falling on this area of New Zealand called the Wairarapa, which is the Wellington region, but it's kind of like the rural, a little bit more artsy.
It's the northern corner of the Wellington region.
Yes, and we fell in love. And so we felt like it was the balance of both worlds. If you guys have been following me for a while now, you know that kind of this homestead farmhouse style vibe is something that I've dreamed about for quite a long time. I actually stumbled on a video from 5 years ago before I ever met Alex where I was doing a Q&A, and somebody asked me like where I see myself in 5 years, and my response was like, hopefully living on a farm somewhere. I think I threw out the option of Oregon in the video, but I was like, I don't care where it is, I just want to live a farm life. I really, over the last 5 years, have been obsessed with the idea of living somewhere that has a ton of land, that I can have goats and like pigs and I don't know, just all of those fun farm furry friends. And here we are. I'm so happy that I found somebody that was willing to kind of pursue that dream with me. So this is really exciting, and we will be moving into our little homestead on 2.5 acres of land in the first week of September.
It's been a whole wild journey because between the 2 places that we put offers on, we were kind of gutted when we didn't get either of those houses, but in retrospect, it's worked out perfectly because not getting either of those homes that we put in offers led us to this place. And this place is by far and large the best of all of them, and has so many things, it checks so many boxes for us. You know, it's close enough to a big city where we can get things that we need, but it is rural. Our neighbors are like horses and sheep.
We have maybe about 2 neighbors, which we got to meet, and they're like younger couples, which we weren't really expecting that. We thought we would have older people living around us, so that was really cool because we didn't really mind, but we just thought it was quite cool that we had people our age living around us.
It's gonna be a whole incredible journey because we have a lot to do. The house is in good shape, but there are a lot of minor maintenance projects that we will be undertaking step by step by step, as well as, you know, there's land and we want to try to maximize what we can do with it, following, you know, regenerative agricultural principles and permaculture principles. And we're really excited to kind of get stuck in and look at a lot of this land as the blank canvas that it is, and see what we can paint and create
learn
together.
along the way and bring you guys along in that learning process. I shared with you guys a video called How to Build a Vegetable Garden, and that was after only a year of us growing a vegetable garden in our backyard in Los Angeles. We were kind of the weird people living on our urban street in Los Angeles, where our neighbors walked up to us and was like, "What are you growing back there? Is that corn?" They could see the corn coming from our fence in LA. And
it's not just corn.
It's not just corn. There are a lot of other things, but you can only see the corn. We just had so much fun learning about growing food. And one of the many reasons why we wanted to move to New Zealand was because we wanted to deepen our knowledge about permaculture, about growing food. And we felt like this was such a perfect country to do that. Obviously, you can do that in all different parts of the world, but there's just something really special about this country, in a sense of many people are growing food in their backyards. It's very farm to table friendly, and we just know that there are so many experts in permaculture that we can learn from here, and we're excited to connect with people like that along the way. Like Alex said, the house itself, it has great bones. It definitely needs some love though, and we definitely have the love to give, and we're so excited to learn more about DIYing renovation projects and having people come in who know what they're doing and learning from them. And there are a few projects that we know we want to start off right off the bat, like we're going to paint the entire house immediately. We're going to kind of just do a deep clean. Yeah.
But the outside will get painted.
The outside we think will get painted at some point. We quite like the color, but we're probably going to paint it lighter later on along the way. We might ask you guys what you think when we get closer. One of the biggest boxes that we wanted to tick when looking for a house was the land. And that's why we're so happy about this specific spot, because one, it's the largest plot of land that we put an offer in on, and we are so happy that this one was accepted. And this plot of land has water on it. So there is a pond, and there's also a second pond that's more seasonal. We saw the property in the winter, so everything was pretty much dead in terms of the trees. It was still very green because of the rain in that area, but all of the trees, there's an orchard on the property with apples and plums and other stone
and a bunch of other trees that we don't even know, and we're like, this is going to be a huge surprise once they start to come in.
Yeah, that's what we're so excited about, is to be moving into the property in September, which here in New Zealand, September is the start of spring. And so we'll be moving into the property as it warms up and as everything blooms, and
just enough time to put some seeds in the garden.
Exactly. So right when we get in, we want to start the garden, and I'm just so excited to like wake up in the morning and to start just seeing different fruits and vegetables in the backyard come to life, specifically the fruit trees and just all of the trees on the property, because we don't know what everything is. We saw berries, but we don't know exactly what berries there are because we haven't been able to necessarily talk to the owner.
We've really only been on the property twice.
Yeah.
Once during the open house and once during the inspection.
And we wanted to find something that we could customize over time, slowly but surely, and make it our own. And specifically with this property, we really want to go in and slowly but surely, one of the first things we are going to renovate is the bathroom and make it our own. So this is a 3-bedroom house. It has a sleep out, including the sleep out that has a toilet and a shower. It's 2.5 baths, so 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths with the sleep out. And yeah, it has the water on the property. One of my favorite parts of the house is that the pond in the backyard has a little island in the middle of the pond that has a willow tree. I absolutely love willow trees. And it's just funny because, to be honest with you, as we were looking for houses, we were always like, oh yes, we love the house, but like, what kind of fruit trees are there?
We'd always be asking the real estate agent, like, so what's planted back there? And they're kind of like,
they never
want to see like what's happening inside the house, but like we're a little bit more interested on what's happening the outside.
Yeah, they never really know what exactly each tree is, especially when there's like a little orchard there. He's like, I know that there's stone fruit in there and apples and stuff, and like that's as far as I know. So again, it's going to be a big surprise. It's going to be a huge learning experience for us in so many different ways, for the land and for the home. And this is exactly what we dreamed up before. We wanted something that was a bit of work for us to learn, because we feel like these skills are so incredible and practical and important in life. The good news is that we never unpacked our stuff from when it arrived from the US. We were like, we're not gonna open anything because we're going to find our place. So everything's still packed, it's in storage, it's ready to go. So all we really need to do is like kind of organize it a bit more,
tape up some of the boxes that got kind of damaged in transit, and then get down there.
Move them into a little van that I don't know, maybe a medium-sized van that we were going to rent. And the good news is we sent over our indoor dining room table, our outdoor dining room table, our bed from LA. We ended up sending like just our favorite pieces of furniture. And we're so happy we did that, because
there'll be something to put in the house.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to like run to the store and go purchase everything, you know, right away, because that just makes the whole process so much more expensive too. So it's nice that we
saving some money there.
Yeah, we have like some big furniture pieces. Really the only big thing we need to get is a couch. I want to say thank you so much to those of you who, one, have been following along on this journey and have been so supportive and excited. And when we didn't get the offer before, so many of you guys were like, it just was not meant to be, it will come and it will be the right place. And that is just so true. When we look back now in hindsight, we're like, thank goodness that those fell through, because this is what it was meant to be. I will say this, when I envisioned us moving to New Zealand, and I'm like a very visual person when I make changes or think about things, and I imagined the view that we have from the house like almost to a T, because when I would think about New Zealand, I would think about hills. And when you look out from our property, you just see a bunch of really interesting hills and like sheep grazing on them, and it's just extremely horses next door.
Pony next door.
It's just
might need a home.
I know, we might be.
Lots of announcements.
Might be our first adoption. And yes, Lonka is also very excited. He got to view the property when we went to the building inspection, so we let him out to roam around, and
he's stoked.
He's very happy. This little one is very excited to have his own paddock. And you know, he's just
live out in his inner dreams of being a sheepdog.
What do you think? Are you excited to roam around and enjoy all the magical land? Or are you gonna eat my face? I also want to say thank you to you guys for really making this possible. I feel like we're so lucky that we are able to do this for a living, which is what makes us be able to work remotely, which has led us to be able to make this big leap of faith. And that's why, and not only the only reason why, I also want to share this journey with you guys, because you've been part of it from the very beginning, but also because you guys really did help in making this all happen. So I never forget that, and I just want to say thank you, and I have so much gratitude for all of you. Thank you all for watching. This is not goodbye. This is, honestly, it feels like
just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you very, very soon in a new one.
Bye.